Here's how to install the passenger kit accessory on the Scorpion and HyperScorpion e-bikes. Installing the passenger seat should take about 30 minutes. Open the box and remove the seat, the foot pegs, and the hardware bag, which will include 4 large bolts, 4 large washers, 2 small bolts, 2 small washers, and 2 nuts. You will need an 8mm socket wrench, a 10mm socket wrench, a 5mm Allen wrench, a 6mm Allen wrench, and flat side cutters to complete the installation. First, be sure the bike is turned off. Then, you will need to remove the rear light using the 8mm wrench. To remove the light, locate the bottom 2 nuts under the bike that are attached to the light. Loosen both washers and nuts and remove them. Be sure to set them aside for when the light is reinstalled. Now, clip the zip ties around the taillight cable and unplug it. To remove the rear rack, find the 5mm Allen wrench and the 10mm wrench. Locate the bolts on both sides of the bike that secure the rack in place. Then, remove the bolt and washer with the Allen wrench on one side of the bike. Now, remove the bolt and washer from the other side. This hardware will no longer be used and should be set aside with the rack. Find the nuts under the rack that are attached to both the rack and the bike. Place the 5mm Allen wrench on the top of the bolt and place the 10mm wrench on the bottom and begin to loosen. Remove the bolt, washers, and nut from the bike. Remove the other bolt, washer, and nut with both wrenches. This hardware will not be needed for the rest of installation and should be kept with the rack. Now, take the rack off the bike. To install the passenger seat, line up the holes on the back of the frame with the bolts on the back of the seat and place it on the bike. Locate the 2 small washers and the 2 small bolts in the hardware bag. Place a washer and bolt through the seat and frame on the side of the bike and tighten with the 5mm Allen wrench. Repeat these steps on the other side of the bike and tighten firmly. To secure the seat to the frame, locate the 2 small washers and 2 nuts in the hardware bag. Place 1 set on the bolt under the seat and begin to tighten by hand. Then fully tighten with the 10mm wrench. Repeat these steps on the other bolt and fully tighten. To reinstall the rear light, find the 2 washers and nuts first removed with the light. Place the light on the back of the bike and insert a washer and nut through the seat frame, beginning to lightly tighten by hand. Then place another washer and nut through the frame and light. Tighten by hand until the light stays in place. Now, fully tighten both nuts with the 8mm wrench. Reconnect the taillight by lining up the connector cables and pushing them together. To install the foot pegs, find the 4 large washers and 4 large bolts in the hardware bag. Be sure to identify the left and right foot pegs. The rubber-covered footrest should be facing up so that the peg opens towards the front of the bike. On the right side of the bike, locate the mounting holes on the swing arm. Put the right foot peg on the bike and insert the washers and bolts through each hole beginning to tighten by hand. Fully tighten each with the 6mm Allen wrench. On the left side of the bike, place the left foot peg on the swing arm and repeat the same steps. Be sure to fully tighten the bolts with the Allen wrench. Test each foot peg to make sure they open out towards the front of the bike. Double check that all bolts and parts are fully tightened. Now you're all set to ride with 2 on your new Scorpion passenger kit.